Japan's military policy has changed and has shifted more towards active surveillance from being a passive defender in recent years. Speaking at the Asaka camp of the country's land self-defense forces while reviewing the troops, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida said that he didn't rule out the possibility of a preemptive strike against enemy bases as a defensive measure. With the new statement on record by the Prime Minister, Tokyo seems to have let go of all previous self-imposed restrictions. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes how China has awakened Japan's warrior heart again. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by War Thunder. If you are, like us, fascinated by military vehicles and technology, I recommend you give War Thunder a try. It's a military vehicle combat game which you can download and play for free on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. It has a huge variety of more than 1,200 playable aircraft, tanks, helicopters, and ships from the 1930s to the 1990s, which you can take to battle on land, in the air, and at sea on more than 80 theaters of war. War Thunder's been kind enough to offer all Defense Updates viewers a special bonus, which will grant you a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship, and 3 days of premium account time for registering using our link in the description below. So take the plunge and join more than 20 million players from around the world. In a speech to the military, Kishida said, "We will study all options necessary to bolster our defensive capabilities, including the ability to execute a preemptive strike against enemy bases." Defense Minister Nobukishi was also present for the live preview. The Japanese Prime Minister is committed to taking all necessary measures to safeguard Japan's territories, territorial waters, and airspace, as well as the lives of its residents. "This is the most essential responsibility that's been assigned to us," he stated. Japan's public expression of a preemptive strike is a stark departure to pacifist stance and could be seen as a strong warning to its adversaries, especially China and, to an extent, North Korea. Kishida took the opportunity to condemn and warn against both countries. He also pointed out that China is beefing up its military capabilities without revealing them. According to Japan's constitution, adopted after the Second World War, it is a pacifist country. Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution states that the Japanese people forever renounce war and the threat or use of force. Previously, the only scenario in which Japan's self-defense forces could use force involved an armed attack situation, such as an organized and premeditated attack against Japan's territorial land, sea, or airspace. Earlier in 2015, it got its parliament to reinterpret Article 9 and pass a series of military legislations. For the first time under Japan's constitution, the rules permitted the self-defense forces to collectively defend allies in the conflict. This includes providing material assistance to allies fighting in foreign wars, as well as authorizing JSDF troops to defend weapons platforms belonging to Japan's allies, if doing so will help Japan's defense. As tensions mount in the East China Sea between China and Taiwan, China has been publicly showing its displeasure and seems to be preparing for a potential clash. In a virtual conference attended by 50 Asian and European countries, Japan's Prime Minister said he firmly opposes unilateral attempts to change the status quo in the East and South China Seas, indirectly condemning China's military bullying. Even previous Prime Minister Shinzo Abe made some pointed statements recently. He said in a virtual speech on Taiwan-Japan relations to a Taipei-based think tank, "I think that Japan, Taiwan, and all the democratic countries need to keep urging President Xi Jinping and the leaders of the Chinese Communist Party not to step onto a wrong path. Abe said military adventure would lead to economic suicide. A Chinese invasion of Taiwan would constitute a significant threat to Japan and therefore an emergency for the Japan-US alliance. People in Beijing, especially President Xi Jinping, should never have a misunderstanding in recognizing this, he said. Japan's security is fundamentally linked with that of Taiwan due to the close proximity between the two countries. The Japanese government's fiscal 2021 supplementary budget plan, which was approved on November 26th, provides 773.8 billion yen for defense spending, the greatest amount ever in an extra budget, up by 1.8 times from the previous high of 428.7 billion yen established in fiscal 2019. The ministry wants to procure some weapons, including P-1 patrol and C-2 transport planes, and upgraded Patriot or PAC-3 interceptor missiles, using the fiscal 2021 extra money, 3 to 6 months earlier than originally planned. The extra funding will also be used for the relocation of a U.S. military base from Jinnawan in Okinawa Prefecture to the Henoko shoreline area in Nago. In October this year, U.S. Marine Corps F-35Bs showed off their short takeoff and vertical landing STOVL capability from Japan's Izumo-class warships. This was the first time in 75 years any fixed-wing combat aircraft landed and took off from the deck of a Japanese Navy carrier. The last time this happened was during World War II. When U.S. Navy Secretary Carlos del Toro returned from his trip to Japan, he tweeted about his visit to the aircraft carrier Izumo in that country. This is a significant step since carriers were seen as offensive platforms and were earlier restricted, but have now been accepted in the Japanese force. It's evident that the changes have been forced on by China's hegemonic policies. The message is clear. China has pushed Japan too far, and now Japan's warrior heart has taken over.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.